would you like me to go? Yeah. Oh.
That side.
Thank you. Gee whiz.
Well, watch what I do on takeoff and just do everything in reverse.
Just copy it in reverse.
You can-
Okay.
you can
I'll bring
land
us back down. That sounds good.
Oh, I'd leave it off.
Cold. My van does the same thing.
Likes lots of fuel.
Okay.
done.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to sunny Melaleuca. Acapulco.
Look at this, would you? This is amazing.
Head into his spot.
Yep,
There's the machinery sort of shed there first.
yep.
And if you turn to the right, once you get past there, see the track going down to his main house, and the track to the right, that goes down to the garden. So
Ah, cool,
we'll
okay.
head down there first.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
goes past his art studio as well.
Oh,
He was a painter as well.
yeah.
And Yeah, you can head right down to the end. There's one last little hut called Corinna's hut.
Right.
That's about as far as the track goes.
Right.
And then we'll set up some tea and coffee up at the house itself.
Okay, beautiful.
Or down near the water. Yeah.
All right.
Have a good look around.
Thanks.
These
Thanks,
guys
Stuart.
will probably be 10 minutes or so, I'd say.
Okay, cool.
Normally takes about that.
I just can't believe how happy I am to be here. Oh god, Denny King is like just a hero for me, a terribly fantastic person. The story of his life is really inspirational. Stuart said he's not painting birds, how ironic. He's also a fantastic gardener and raised a family out here, fell in love, managed to woo the woman from Sydney to come and live with him down here, and he's just an inspiration, you know. So I feel really, really incredibly honoured and bubbling with joy to be here and checking it all out for myself in person. It's incredibly pristine, the landscape down here, and cold and rugged. But it really is like the edge of the world. It's really special. So I want to build a studio at my house, right? And I'm planning on how I want to have my artist studio, and I've just found Denny King's artist studio. How good is that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's this little easel. And there's this view. See if you can see it. Look at that. It's so quiet here. It's so quiet, you just want to whisper. It's amazing. These little, all these bits and bobs. He used to paint, he'd paint birds. He loved painting birds, and he'd paint them as Christmas cards. Have all these hand-painted, individualised Christmas cards. And maybe he painted them here, in this very little spot, and inside, I think, in the little hut, which we'll have a look in soon. We'll just carry on and we'll see if we can come and find his little garden, little veggie patch. There's birds everywhere. In the book it's, oh my god. I don't know if that's the famous one, but in the book there's ones that they just come and they just land on him. They'll be living inside his little hut. It's their friends, you know? Why not? Be friends with the birds. It's so fun. I can't believe it. So I'm kind of walking on peat a little bit at the moment, and it's a bit squishy. And the peat is just decaying matter that breaks down on top of the granite, I think it was, the gravel. And I can see the veggie patch. And it takes about 10 years for it to make even 1 centimetre of peat. So he had a little garden, and this is obviously not being tended at the moment, but down here, look, they've even got raised garden beds with kale. Oh, fantastic. He was a great gardener, apparently. He and his dad used to grow. Oh, and there's a little thing. It might be a wallaby. I think it's a wallaby. Hello. Hello. They used to grow potatoes and carrots and peas and beans. And they grew heaps and heaps of food for themselves here in their little garden, as you'd need to, you know, like totally relying on what you can do for yourself. Here's a little wallaby. Hello. So maybe, those of you that have trouble with birds, like Denny adored birds, and so he wasn't going to have any problems with them in terms of wanting to hurt them. But they've got netting all over the garden. If you want to see me happy, this is me happy right now, this moment. Denny used to, he'd hand split a lot of the wood. He'd go and fell the trees and then split the wood and make the planks. He probably cut these logs here to make this little shack. Pretty resourceful and just a fantastic bushman, you know. He was really, really capable with his hands. He could build furniture. I'm hoping that when we look inside the, I don't know if we're allowed to look inside the hut or not. I'm not sure how that works. But he built like the bed for he and his wife, and built everything, everything. Okay, I'm gonna cruise on a little bit up here and see what's up here. There's some wallaby poo, that's what's up here. Look at this little gully down here. So in terms of what we can learn from Denny's little plot down here, there's a few things. Firstly, I think that way is north, so it's going to be facing where it can get a lot of sunshine, most sunshine that it can, and yet meanwhile it's also got a lovely windbreak all the way around it, because you get incredible winds and weather around here. So it's sort of in this little dell, in this little clearing I should say, in the middle, where it's got its own little microclimate in a sense. It's protected from the harsh winds that would break the leaves and dry out. Not that they probably have too much problems drying out the soil. I imagine they get a lot of rain here. But it's a little safe little place to put the delicate veggies. And then he's used some exclusion methods. People, when they ask me about how to deal with mammals or pests or birds, wallabies, things like that, possums, I always say use exclusion methods, and that's exactly what he's doing here, or did here. He's got the corrugated iron down the bottom, and then the netting over the top to keep the wildlife away from the produce. I love it. I love it. It's awesome.
Use the leaves like bay leaves. If you chew on one, you get the heat and the flavour from it. It is pretty hot, so just don't chew too much.
Just like chili?
A bit like chili, yeah.
That's quite good.
What plant is this? Called the bush pepper or Tasmanian native pepper.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
got
like
a nice
it.
flavour too. It is quite hot though, so don't chew too much.
Yeah, it is peppery, for sure.
It'd be nice chopped up and sprinkled over things.
Yeah.
Yeah, spread it out a bit.
Yeah,
Soup. Be nice and soup.
Yep. they've got some stuff called bush dust, which is the leaf and the berry all mashed up.
Do you know what that one is there, Stuart?
Yeah, bush plum they call that.
Oh, wow.
This one here's a celery top pine.
Oh.
The leaves look like celery leaves.
It's good for building, yeah? They use that for
Yeah.
building.
It's very similar looking timber to the Huon pine. It's very pale and straight grained, and that's the beech myrtle. So they've got leaves that look like maps of Tasmania, the little...
Cool.
The older gentleman? I don't know.
He's already headed down.
Oh, okay. That was like you lost him.
Oh, we'll lose one or two.
It's a good tour if you just lose one, yeah?
Marsupial mice, called tooth mice, I think it's called.
Yeah.
They don't have any bladders, so they're constantly weeing. So there's-
Burns the vegetation out? Or?
well, it's got moss where it's a little track that runs along, and it's all lined with moss, so it looks like carpet.
Wow. It sounds like my dog at the moment. She's constantly weeing, poor little thing. She's old. So I just got off the plane with Par Avion down to Melaleuca to see where Denny King lived, and I'm still buzzing with excitement and letting it all sink in and digest. I think I need to go to have a glass of wine and sort of enjoy the moment, let it relish it and sink in. Hey George, what have you been doing? You've been hanging out in the van while I've been away? Do you know that I just flew a plane? I actually got to fly the plane. The pilot, Stuart, we were going along, and then I was sort of in my own world taking photos and documenting the trip. All of a sudden he says, "Do you want to have a fly?" Oh my god. So took over the controls. I was like, what do I do? What do they do? The pedals go left and right, something about the rudder, and then the steering goes left and right as well, and then up and down. You pull the steering wheel, towards you and push it down. Anyway, so I grabbed onto it, thinking, oh, this is great. Next minute the plane's going a little bit sideways. Not that bad, but a little bit. It's quite sensitive, turns out. So anyway, kind of, he said we're kind of heading towards the smoke signal. There was some bushfires off in the distance, so I settled in and it put every ounce of my attention on doing what I was doing, and flew a plane for a little while, and it was just freaking amazing. Totally the best way to finish off an amazing day. I said to him, Stuart, I think this is going down as the best day in my life. It was absolutely totally up my alley. Adventure, nature, art, unconventional life, inspiring people living within their means and in a sustainable way, respecting nature. Totally loved it. If you're in Tassie, if you're in Hobart, do the Par Avion flight over to Melaleuca and experience something about this world that you just don't get anywhere else. It's really something special. Okay, time to kind of unwind a bit. All right, here comes the pilot. Ciao.